Is a world where all children grow up feeling safe, supported, and loved seem feasible, even in our modern world? Even in today's society, there's a very large prevalence of child endangerment, child maltreatment, which poses a significant threat to obviously to our future generations. But first off, you have to understand, all the aspects of maltreatment as a whole. But I think with the help of UNM, I think that we can fight this. First, we'll start kind of with the overall definition of what maltreatment is. According to the CDC, it's any recent act or failure to act on the part of a parent or caretaker which results in death, serious physical or emotional harm, sexual abuse, or exploitation. And that can be parents, grandparents, aunt and uncles, daycare workers, nannies. There's a big variety of people who can obviously hurt children. There's a lot of different types as well that kind of goes into the underneath it. Physical, sexual, emotional abuse, and then obviously neglect. I don't think a lot of people understand kind of the impact it has on children, growing up and how it affects them for the rest of their life. Their overall well-being kind of going up as a teenager and a child who endured maltreatment. That being said, it's not talked about how many children are actually harmed and kind of the prevalence within the U.S. Right now nationally, there are around 600,000 victims of child abuse and neglect. The victim rate is 8.1 victims per 1,000 children in the population. That's from Child Welfare League of America, that data. And I think kind of overall understanding the protective factors and socioeconomic factors of maltreatment will kind of help give an overview of, kind of how it happens and how it kind of feeds into the prevalence in the United States. There's a lot of different, since there's such a big variety of the different types of maltreatment that little kids can endure, there's also a big variety of kind of what feeds into that. So there's a lot of things it kind of mostly feeds into poverty, low income, generational abuse, structural factors, social inequity, etc. But I think a big one is access to care and education. It kind of contributes to the perception of child maltreatment, and people who grew up and maybe were abused and they weren't educated kind of on how it's bad or what's actually abuse is honestly, I think, a big aspect of how and why so much abuse is still going on. So I think understanding the protective factors and how early intervention and prevention factors are a really big key to even addressing what maltreatment is. Again, education and awareness, but also kind of tying into that, strengthening policies can be really essential for families who need support, because if policies aren't in place, people can't get in trouble and people don't know that their children are being harmed. So that being said, also having training professionals in child welfare, law enforcement, healthcare, and within the schools and stuff, kind of to identify and respond to cases of child maltreatment is honestly, I think, really crucial for kind of that first effective intervention. So I think that overall there really just needs to be a big education piece to it, because people just aren't aware how much it's happening and what kind of stuff is actually abuse. So that being said, in today's society, there's a very large prevalence of child endangerment and child maltreatment. And if this continues on the way it is, it poses such a huge threat to our future generations. So you have to understand the aspects that go into this. And that's why I believe with all the resources that we can put in place and with the help of UNM, if we can come together globally and fight the silent war for the kids, it'll make such a huge difference for the U.S. and for children growing up in the U.S. and globally. Thank you.